Thank you, Martin. I'm going to spare you another PowerPoint presentation and talk off the cuff, if you don't mind. As the brief resume is mentioned, I've moved around quite a bit in my career, as probably an awful lot of us do. When you work in the attraction industry, you go where the opportunities are, and when you're as specialised as I am, really. Actually, I've diversified since my PhD in fish disease. But when you're as specialist as I am and run aquariums, then there are even more limited opportunities. So my career has brought me to a number of different areas. I tend to fall into the role of kind of troubleshooter, and when I move into an organisation, it's because there is specific challenges to address there. That was the case when I took over group curator to the Blue Planet Aquarium, which is a recently opened £15 million aquarium. I have to say, the commercial model wasn't great. The financial gearing was completely wrong. Out of a 15 million capital budget, over 10 million of that was borrowed from the bank and based on a business plan that frankly would never have worked. So right from the day off, it was in trouble. So my role was to go in and try and sort out the husbandry and engineering side of things with very little money. So I was glad to move to a Millennium funded project across in East Yorkshire, which on the face of it had pots of cash. £53 million project at the end of the third phase of development, and I was lucky enough there to be able to be at the cutting edge of aquarium development, certainly within the UK. When I took on a more executive role as a director of an institution, I moved to Ireland, and that was a completely different challenge to me. I took on an organisation there that had been open 26 years, and the last time it evolved was about 26 years ago. Purely through a lack of competition, it was doing well in its particular area. It was the 6th highest visited, paid-for attraction in Ireland at the time, but it had a lot of fundamental issues, and I was able then to put in place a 10-year plan, which is still rolling through now, which has seen that achieve status of 3rd highest visited attraction in Ireland and growing from strength to strength. But my biggest challenge, without a doubt, was when I took on managing director role at the National Marine Aquarium. The NMA was set up as a charity in 1998, and although it has national title, it doesn't receive any revenue support or any central funding, and we are a standalone charitable organisation. It's been through a very tough roller coaster time during its life. And when I was brought on in 2010, it really was with the objective of really grabbing it by the bootstraps and hauling it back up, building its reputation, building its credibility, ensuring its financial stability, making the people that work there proud to work there, and making the people of Plymouth proud to have it in their city. And that's been my biggest challenge so far, but I'm glad to say it's working to date. 4 years in, and we are making some great progress. So I'll briefly kind of outline how I think we've managed to achieve that. Only got a few minutes really, but essentially running a charitable public aquarium, a standalone charitable public aquarium in the least populated part of England, where aquariums have got extremely high embedded cost. My turnover is 3.2 million, my staff costs are 1.1, 1.2, and then my energy budget is 400 grand. So that means it's very difficult to actually make a surplus out of a public aquarium, especially when you get one located in Devon. We have 1.2 million people within a 90-minute drive time. So we needed to tap into that 1.2 million very heavily and to really engender local pride, local loyalty, repeat visits. We also needed to appeal to a national audience. We needed to stretch our tiny little marketing budget to cover the whole of the UK. And while we're doing that, we needed to ensure that we fulfilled our charitable aims and objectives as well. So the strategy I came up with, which we devised a 3-year strategy to take us through to 2013. We're now in the second phase. We're in the second 3-year strategy now, and that was multifold really. Secure the financial stability of the organisation, diversify income streams. We all know the story, really. Corporate business, external consultancy, looking at maximising revenue streams through secondary income, catering, retail, ensuring your profit margin is there in all of them. But what we needed to do was make sure that our ethics shone through in all of that as well. So we have an ethical purchasing policy. We ensure local procurement. We favour fair trade and environmentally friendly products. Our retail operation, for instance, has got over 80% of our overall sales mix falls into fair trade, local or eco. But we've managed to raise our profit margin and our spend per head within those areas at the same time. We've built our corporate business, our corporate and entertainment business to have a turnover of about $250,000 a year, which supplements our basic income. But what I really want to talk about is how we've lifted our reputation, and that's been through a very targeted application of social media and media engagement, as well as our research and conservation programs. We set out to ensure that the National Marine Aquarium has an authoritative and sector-leading voice within the media. So we have a proactive program of engagement with the media. We know exactly what we want to talk about. We talk about marine conservation, education, and science subjects. So in the educational realm, we talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. We talk about marine conservation issues, but we're also increasingly looking towards conservation psychology and behaviour change. And through that approach, we are able to influence the customers that walk through our door, but also our wider engagement with the social media community and the media. And most of our media engagement is about issues such as marine conservation, sustainable seafood consumption, marine plastics and litter, and it's creating an environment where the media come to us. And they come to us because we're seen as an independent, authoritative, and trustworthy and reputable source of information on these subjects. Now, that has had the effect of not only creating a large amount of media coverage for us. The last 3 years, we've achieved over £2.2 million worth of advertising value equivalent in the UK press alone. Roughly 750 to 800 individual articles in the press. But that gives us a national reach. Frankly, we don't take adverts in print media. We do some local radio advertising, but everything pretty much we do is through PR and comms. And so far it's so successful that the national media are now coming to us, and we are regularly featured on BBC's One Show. We are regularly rang up by news rounds, many of the different news channels, Guardian, publications, etc., to provide authoritative content and comment on news stories. And by taking that approach, we've managed to raise our profile in the UK, but we've also managed to raise our reputation and our tone of voice and our share of voice within the media. So that's extending our reach into the markets. More people know about us and more people come and visit us. But it's also hitting our charitable aims and objectives as well. There are many other things I could talk about, but I'll probably leave it there and leave it open to the questions for the panel session. But or come and see me afterwards, and I'll happily chat to you. But there are other areas of strategy. But yeah, Martin, I'll leave it there. Okay. Thanks.